Hi everyone. Going to be working on an Enve 70/30 carbon rim. It's pretty damn wide, pretty tall. This tire is super duper tight. It's a pain in the ASS. Can't even barely break the bead free, but what we want to do is also get the bead sitting in the middle of the rim, just like that. On both sides, can't even do that. Can't do it by hand, can't even stick a tire lever in there. Tried to sharpen a tire lever to get it thin enough to get inside there. Trying to stay away from using metal levers if I can. Don't want to harm the carbon. So I've searched the internet looking for some quick tips, good advice. Didn't really find anything. Heard one guy actually stood on it, but anyways. So anyways, this is a big enough of a problem where it was getting under my skin. I wanted to figure this sucker out. So I know not everyone has a vise. Go ahead and stick the tire in the vise. Careful not to catch the edge of the carbon rim right here on both sides. So basically we're trying to tear this away. By hand you would normally just push on the bead until that bead separated from the rim, and you'd have some spacing in there and you could easily put your tire lever. Well, this ain't happening whatsoever, and you can only get so much grip on this tire. So I've squeezed it in here, and once I did that, when the tire is stationary, now we're just going to rotate or push the rim either left or right, trying to drag that bead away from the sidewall, going to the center of the rim. All the time being careful not to scratch your carbon rim up. So being in here, tighten that sucker up. Now I'm pushing on the sidewall rim itself, or you can grab it from this side and we're going sideways. When I'm pulling this way, I'm actually tearing bead away from this end. If I pull this way, I'm going to tear bead away from that rim, and so one side popped, this side did not, so I'm going to go ahead and continue with this side. So I broke a section free. I'll show you what we're talking about. So this is what it looked like, very tight, trying to pull this away. For the life of me, this would not break free. So after sticking it in the vise, I was able to manipulate it and actually created this gap right here. So I'm going to see if I can continue this by hand, creating this gap all the way around this side and then this side, and this will loosen up the tire. Then I can stick a tire lever in there and hopefully get this sucker free. All those tools right there, those are just variations of trying to get that bead free. Go into that open section, which is right here, and we're just going to continue. And you want to work just sections at a time. Could be anywhere from 2 to 4 inches at a time. Break that free, get that bead further in. There we go, nice pop, a little bit of a splatter splooge from the sealant. Oof, now it's working like magic, and it's talking back to me, so I'm going to put on some safety glasses, which are right on top of my head, so we'll do a trade. I want to say the hard part's out of the way, but we'll see. So now we're breaking that bead free all the way around, nice and free. Got the nice gap right there. I can stick my finger inside there now, right in between the bead and the middle of that rim. Continue to break free. That's a great sound. Great. So now I got that side nice and loose. We're going to come over here and do the same thing. Whoa, still tight. This guy's still very tight. So that definitely will twist the skin on your thumbs. Yeah. So we do want this side bead to go into the middle, just like it did over here. So there's a nice little valley in the middle. That's going to create some good space here. Now this side is still being tough, so I'm going to stick this back in the vise. The other alternative was getting some snippers and cutting this tire off, but I accepted the challenge and we will continue. So this is the remainder of the side. I was able to make a nice little gap here. Just going to continue with that starting there. Now the rest of it's coming along. Pop the rest of that bead. There we go. Yep. Beautiful. Yeah. Now we got both sides nice and loose. Got some gap here. Flip it over. We got a gap here. So now this tire is just a wimpy, weak, worthless bum. So now that this guy's nice and loose, now I can go back, fit some tire levers in there. Can either use some Pedros, or I got some Park Tool with the steel core, except that the ends aren't that great. The ends have very little curvature to it. So I'm gonna wipe up a little bit of that mess. All right, curved, just like fixing a regular flat now, coming in with the curved section going up. Get in the middle, flip that down. Gonna push it through the spoke, not on the spoke. That's about all I got. So it's definitely still pretty tight. So we're gonna use probably For now, we're gonna use a maximum of 3. I'm gonna skip a spoke, leave this up, get that guy in there. We're just getting one side of the bead. You don't want to grab 2. You will be bumping your head against a brick wall if you do. And we got 3 right there. So all 3 are gonna come down at the same time. Probably you could put this on the ground. There we go. Yeah. Drop those 2, take this guy, push through the spokes, grabbing through the other side there, just like that. Beautiful. Oh yeah. I like it when stuff just falls apart for you. Now we got to get the rest of the tire off. We got a little bit of gray sealant and I'm not sure what that is or was. Could have been stands that just turned gray. I'm gonna throw that in there, soak up a little bit of that chocolateness. Now I can just go ahead, I'm gonna try and lift up and then peel back. And I'm gonna do this on the ground. So we got this whole bead off. I'm gonna lift up, come over this way, holding the tire firm, pushing the rim down. With this hand, pulling up here, lift and pull down. Yep, there we go. Not a problem. All the whole time trying to keep your rotor nice and clean. So that looks good. Able to get this tight tire off without harming that carbon rim. So we're gonna burn that tire later, just kidding.